Hey, seventh grade, day number 20. And on day number 20, we are going to look at a budget and figure out if your amount of money that you are going to make per year is going to be enough to live the lifestyle that you are choosing. So, we're going to figure out your monthly income, and you should be able to create a balanced budget. Now, the first thing we need to figure out, excuse me, is how much money you would make per year starting your career. So in Smart Futures, there's, I want to say, 5 different numbers for how much you would make per year. We are going to be looking at that very first number. It says P10, which just means it's the beginning of your career. So this is you starting your life as a, maybe for some of you, 18 years old, maybe 22, maybe 24. It's when you are finished with whatever schooling you need to do and you go get your career job. So whatever it is that you want to be in life. So that's going to be step 1, is to go onto your Smart Futures, and when you click on that career, so on the left-hand side, you click on the career, you're going to go down on the left-hand side of the page and it says wages. And from there, you will be able to see how much you make per year in that job. Pick Pennsylvania. If Pennsylvania is not an option, just go ahead and pick the option up at the top, which would be like the United States, I think. All right. I can show you how to do that if I need to. Let's see. I'll do that real quick. So, my careers, click on middle school teacher. I scroll down over here to where I see detailed career information, go to wages, and then I can scroll on down to Pennsylvania, and I'm going to start with this $38,130 number because it's in the first column. All right, so from there, I have that number, and I'm going to show you what we need to do with that. So you're going to have to fill in all of the yellow boxes. Okay, the career choice is, what do you want to be? Okay, that's 1 point. That's easy. Annual gross pay, I just showed you where that number comes from on Smart Futures. This tells you as well, use the 10% number from Smart Futures. Now, we're just going to say the tax amount is 30%. So you're going to take the annual pay number, which is the number that you just put in there, and you're going to multiply it by 30%. Now we want to find your annual net pay. So we're going to take that gross pay amount, we're going to subtract the tax amount, and you're going to get $26,691 is how much money you actually get. Then we're going to figure out how much is that per month. So you're going to take the annual net pay, and you're going to divide that by 12. Round to the nearest penny. Okay, now, when you go to do this, you get confused, go open the video, watch it. It explains it again, how to do it. This should not really be that difficult. Okay. Now, oh my gosh, we have to figure out your monthly spending amounts. So we have your monthly net pay, which you just calculated that number. So that's coming from that previous slide, and that's $2,224.25 for mine. You're going to have different numbers because you're using your career, not mine. Now, the next part is breaking it down into percentages of how much you can spend or kind of budget for each month. So savings and charitable contributions, it says to take the monthly net pay, which is this number up here, and multiply it by 15%. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 of these have a 15% number. So when I take that number, and I'll show you, get the calculator, 2224, and I'm going to multiply that by 15%. I'm going to round it to the nearest penny, so $333.64. That number goes in 1, 2, 3, 4 places, everywhere that has the 15%. Then I'm going to go take my monthly net pay, again, the $2,224.25 for me, and now I'm going to multiply it by 25% to get this amount. I'm going to do the same thing to figure out the 10% and the 5%. The last thing down here is the total. I'm going to get the total. It's the top number, the bottom number should be the same because I add these numbers together. I add all of the percentages, I add all of those together, it should equal the total. Now this part, this is amount from your choice. This is the next set of slides. So we're going to do the savings. It says it's based on how much money you have left after you make choices. Doing that part last. Other expenses kind of works the same as savings, but we're going to, again, wait for last on that. Things that we're going to go figure out right now would be housing, transportation, food, entertainment, and clothing. You should have numbers that are on the slides. They shouldn't be something random. Like housing should not be $1,200. That's not an option. It should be one of these four numbers. Let me show you what this means. So here's where you're going to go through and you're going to say, again, this is me starting my career. What do I want? Am I going to live at home, but I'm going to help pay for things, or maybe they make me pay a little rent at $2,500 per month? Am I going to get a 2-bedroom apartment, but I'm going to share it with someone, so I only have to pay half of that, so about $600 per month? Am I going to get my own apartment, $1,000 per month, and maybe I want to get a small house, or maybe I get a little bit larger apartment, $1,400 per month? You're going to put one of those numbers in for your housing expense over here, amount from your choice. My budget says I have $556. So, getting a house probably isn't going to happen yet. So, I'm going to look at that $556 and say, you know what? I'm close to $600. I might be able to do it if I don't spend a lot of money on something else. So, I'm going to get myself a roommate. I'm going to go $600 maybe. No. Next one is transportation. So, if you are not going to have your own vehicle and maybe you're going to have a bike or public transportation or whatever the case may be, $45 per month. If you have a car, $400 per month, a brand new one, $700 per month, and if you get in a new sports car, fancy car, $1,200 per month. Some of you can't afford that. Food, are you going to dine out all the time because you don't know how to cook? $900 per month. Excuse me. Are you going to have fast food lunches, but you cook everything else at home? $650 per month. Are you going to have dinner, usually at home all the time? You prepare, lunch and dinner, and you just eat out maybe once a weekend, or you not eating out because it's too expensive and you're just going to cook everything at home all the time. Your food should have one of these four numbers. Okay. Now, entertainment is how much can you afford, basically. So if you want to have a gym membership, $25 a month, your movie, music, TV streaming package, $50 per month. Let me tell you, mine is more than that. Mine's $100 just for Hulu Plus. Maybe you go to the movies every weekend, you want to go to a sporting event, concert tickets. This can be a combination of these numbers added together. So maybe you only want to have $75 per month. Okay, maybe you're going to the movies and have a streaming package, it's $120 per month. Maybe you doing all of it. Yikes. I hope you have a good paying job. Then the next one is clothing. You're going to pick one of these. You don't want to buy a whole lot of clothes, or you're going to yard sale thrift store clothing, $50 per month. Discount clothing, you buy your clothing at the Walmarts. The department store, you go to the Macy's and the, what's that other thing? Kohl's, the J.C. Penney's. Designer fashions, you too fancy for me, $500 per month. Not only clothing, that includes your shoes. Yeah. So I've made all of those choices. housing, transportation, food, entertainment, and clothing. Okay? Now, I said about doing the other expenses and the savings and charitable contributions last. So from here, okay, I then have to complete the table. So I've added all of my budget things. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see what I have spent to figure out where I am. So I would take my $2,224.25. I'm going to subtract the $600, subtract the $400, the $450, the $50, and the $50. I'm left with $674.25. So what I'm going to look at then is for other expenses. I have $333 that it kind of says I should probably plan on having. This is going to be your things like your like cell phone, your water bill, your sewer, your gas bill, like other things that you still have to pay for. I'm going to go ahead and put in the $335. It's close to that. I just want something nice and easy. And then I'm going to then take how much I had here, $674.25. I'm going to subtract the $335 that I would have put in other expenses. I have $339.25 left that has to go into my savings and charitable contributions. All of these numbers added together then should equal the bottom number. Okay, they're not really filled in here, but they are over here. This is what a complete budget looks like. Last thing you have to think about, does your budget work? If you are making more money than you're spending, you're going to be fine. If you spend more than you make, you need to make some changes. So what could you do? Maybe get a roommate. Get a second job. Don't get the fancy car. Stop eating out. Okay, things like that. This is real life, y'all. Real life. Don't take that trip. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Whew. Let's go do your career of the day today. It is a fish and game warden. You will patrol assigned area to prevent fish and game law violations. You will investigate reports of damage to crops or property by the wildlife. Need to have a bachelor's degree, and you can make just about $30,000 per year to almost $82,000 per year as a fish and game warden. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Again, if you're not quite sure what to do with some of those numbers, go back and look at the slides. I have how to complete each and every step. All right. Hope you have a fantastic day.